Fables of La Fontaine. The Bear and the Two Friends. Two friends, in want, resolved to sell a bearskin, though the bear was well, and still alive. The furrier paid them willingly, the bargains made. It was the king of bears, they said. They'd kill him in an hour or two, and what more could they hope to do? The merchant has not such a skin, a guarantee through thick and thin, to fence from even the keenest cold with warm, soft, pliant fold on fold. Better to make two cloaks than one. The bargains made, the business done. The bear in 2 days was to die, that they agreed on presently. They found the bear, who at full trot came down upon them raging hot. The men were thunderstruck, soon done, with bargain making, how they run. Life against money, they are mute. One climbs a tree to shun the brute. The other, cold as marble, lies upon his stomach, shuts his eyes. For he has heard that bears, instead of eating, fear to touch the dead. The trap deceives the foolish bear. He sees the body lying there, suspects a trick, turns, smells, and sniffs, with many a nuzzling cautious whiffs. He's dead, said he, and rather high, then seeks the forest that's hard by. The merchant, from the tree descending, quickly to his companions lending the aid he needs. A wondrous sight, to think you've only had a fright. But where's his skin? And did he say aught in your ear, as there you lay? For he came, as I plainly saw, and turned you over with his paw. He said, another time, at least before you sell, first kill the beast. Well, there you have it. And what's this all about? Two friends go to a furrier and make a deal. They say, we'll bring you a bearskin. Pay first, and we'll bring it in a couple hours. You haven't seen a skin like this. It's perfect. In fact, you could make 2 cloaks out of it instead of 1. Best skin you've ever seen. So the furrier agrees, they make a deal, and then the friends decide to go look for the bear. Of course, once they find the bear attacks them, comes charging, and they are in over their heads, so to speak. So one of them runs up a tree, and the other has nowhere to go, so he lies down and plays dead. So the bear comes over and starts sniffing him and turns him over with his paw, and while he's sniffing him, it looks like he's whispering in his ear. So his friend comes down and says, hey, you're so lucky, the bear didn't kill you. Your plan worked. But did he say something? And the other fella said, yeah, he said, another time. So what is the point? Well, the point is, be very careful with making promises. If somebody asks me for a promise, or can you do me a favor, or something like that, I always say, that depends, or what's the favor? Never agree to something that you don't know the details of. Never agree without knowing what you're getting yourself into. It's one thing to sell a bearskin that you don't have and make a bunch of promises than it is to actually deliver the goods. Because every bear that's alive is very attached to his skin in more ways than one, and is not going to let you have it willingly. And unless you know what you're doing, and even if you do know what you're doing, sometimes hunting bears doesn't work out the way you plan it. But the same can be said about anything. When you're making a bid on a project, for instance, and you lowball and you agree that you can do a job with a certain amount of money. This happens all the time, particularly with government contracts. I have a friend who made a contract with the government to do some work for Newfoundland Housing, and he couldn't fulfill the obligations of the contract he agreed on, and it caused him a lot of problems. He ended up not doing the job, but he did a lot of work and didn't get paid for it. You have to be realistic and know what you're getting yourself into, and you can't do that without information and details. So, again, never make promises without knowing what you're getting yourself into. And know that some jobs are going to be much tougher than you think. It's very easy to look at something and assume that it's not a tough job. This again is oftentimes the Dunning-Kruger effect, where you think you have more knowledge and ability in a certain endeavor because, when you start something new, the first 50% of what you're doing seems very easy. But mastery, anybody who has gone down the road of mastery knows that, yes, it's very easy. The easy stuff comes quickly. But the tough stuff takes a lot of dedication and a lot of sacrifice. And when something is new, it's very exciting. But once the boredom comes and you have to start forcing yourself to do things and you're bored with it, but you've got to persevere and push through if you truly want to be a master. It doesn't come easy. And it's very easy to overestimate your knowledge and ability in a certain area of study. But unless you've put in the time and sacrifice and forcing yourself to do things you don't want and getting through the boredom and getting through the monotony and delivering every day on your promise and struggling and studying and working, you don't really know the subject as well as you think you do most of the time. It takes work. It's very easy to say, my New Year's resolution is I'm going to practice the guitar 1 hour a day for a whole year. And you set out, and your first week, no problem. Your second week, no problem. Once you get around week 20 and you realize you have 30 more weeks to go, that's when the problem comes. That's when you have to dig down and show your mettle, see what you're made of. Can you push through and keep your commitment, keep your promise to yourself? But that's where mastery of your mind comes in. That's where the mind controls the body, and you show your integrity by following through on your promises. Integrity means you can keep the promises you make to yourself based on your values. You can do what you say you can. And sometimes you doubt yourself and you wonder if you've bitten off more than you can chew, but these are when you really have to bear down, excuse the pun, and continue to push. It's like a marriage vow, for instance. It's very easy to get married and say, I do, and I promise to be there forever, but why do 50% of marriages fail? And of those marriages that don't fail, why are so many of those unhappy? Because it's very easy to make a commitment through words, but following through with action, that's where things get difficult. You promise and Where's the commitment? Oh, it got hard, so I quit. Well, where's the integrity in that? You don't follow through on your promises. How is that respectable? Well, it isn't. So, a few ideas on this fable. If you have anything you'd like to add, down below, please. Until next time, goodbye. Love you.